He needs a bucket.
I am so nervous right now. By the way, for about a year, I've been talking about how I was going to wing this speech. I never thought the day would actually come, and now I am about the most nervous person in this room. Okay, I've given 2 speeches in my life. My brother's wedding and my dad's funeral, and I winged both of them, and from the response I got, I heard I killed it. I mean, so I thought I would wing this one, and here I am, and nobody's laughing. Alright. I think I was probably the first person in this room, and probably the first person in Harlan's life who he told he was going to marry Andrea. I was in Iraq, and Harlan was one of, I don't know, the 5 people I ever called from Iraq.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Uncle Ron, I think I called you a few times, but you didn't answer. Anyways, I always called Harlan, and I swear I talked to him longer than I would ever talk to anybody. Talked to him longer than I would talk to my mom. I talked to him longer than I would talk to my girlfriend. Because we would get going on the Mavericks or the Rangers, and we would talk for half an hour. I mean, it probably cost him about $70 every time we talked, but he told me this one time, it was probably 2 or 3 years ago. Did we decide?
3?
Probably 3 years ago. I was in Iraq, and it was about 150 degrees outside. And Harlan was like, hey, I'm gonna marry this girl. And I said, that's kind of a big deal. He was like, yeah, we're gonna get married. I was like, I'm 2,000 miles away. What do you want me to do with this? And anyways, here we are today. Harlan did a very good job. He makes a very handsome groom. She makes a very beautiful bride. Andrea, I've known Harlan since the 2nd grade. I have unfortunately been gone most of the time that y'all were dating, but I cannot wait to get to know you. And I'm pretty upset that you made me shave my beard. And the guy who was singing, he had a beard. And a huge voice, by the way. Is he here? Because that guy's voice was awesome. Well, no, that's not him. No, that's not him either. Okay, yeah, sure, we'll go with that guy. Anyways, I hope nobody here noticed me wipe off the sweat from my forehead about 15 times during the ceremony. And here we go. My knees will finally stop shaking. Let's do this. And here's to the bride and groom. I'm so glad this song came on as soon as I was done.
Oh, you couldn't have the night without me talking again, so. You guys, do me a favor, can you feel like you're alienating the people in the middle? Why don't you go stand over here next to the column so nobody can see you? No, I'm serious. No. My mom's sitting right there, she'll get pissed.
Sorry, brother.
You don't want to upset Janice Almighty. Go sit over here.
No, you listen when he said.
No.
I hope everyone has a fresh drink. You know, a wise man once told me that the best man's speech should only last as long as the groom can make love. So thanks, ladies and gentlemen. In all seriousness, it's been a while since the last time I made a toast or a speech at a wedding, so forgive me if I'm a little nervous and out of practice. When I told this to Harlan, He assured me that I would be just fine. Said, hey buddy, it's just like riding a bike. Says the 26-year-old who cannot ride a bike. Naturally, when I started writing the speech, I went to the internet for inspiration and ideas. After a couple hours of searching, I found some pretty interesting stuff. And then I remembered I was supposed to be looking for wedding ideas. So I decided instead to go straight to the source of a happy marriage. My parents, Jane and Modi, celebrated their 30th wedding anniversary this past December. So I went to my mom and I said, how do you do it? What makes it work? And she went on a 20-minute lecture about love, communication, mutual respect. So I just wrote that out and went and asked my dad for the answer. And he said to me, he looked at me and paused for a second, deep in thought. And when he finally spoke, he said one of the most profound statements I've ever heard in an Israeli accent. He said to me, Leon, what a donkey know about fruit salad? Exactly. Because, you know, there is no secret to the perfect marriage. If I've learned anything from TV and movies, it's that you have to work at it. And even after years of working at it, you're still going to hit some moment when you hit rock bottom. And at that point, you just break out into a song and dance and run towards each other in slow motion in a field of sunflowers.
Love sunflowers.
You guys are going to be getting a ton of advice, like, don't go to bed angry, which is great. But what they don't tell you is instead of going to bed angry, you're actually just going to stay up and argue, so. Harlan and Andrea, without these people here tonight, this night would be a lot less joyous. And over the course of the night, we'll have plenty of time to talk to them, get to know them better. So let me propose the first toast of my speech to the most important people here, the bar staff. Gabriel, keep them coming, big guy.
Yeah, baby. Yeah!
You know, when they first started planning this wedding over a year ago, Harlan discovered that he was actually planning for a marriage. And he quickly learned to replace the money in his wallet with a picture of Andrea. Harlan would like to consider himself a bit of a trendsetter in parts of our lives growing up. This proved to be true. He was the first one to hit a growth spurt when we were in elementary school. He was the first one to start shaving, also in elementary school. He was the first one of us to have a serious girlfriend, ironically named Andrea. And when we got to high school, he was the first one of us to ask a girl to the homecoming dance in October. He didn't care that it was July. Furthermore, he was also the first one of us to play in the Temple Shalom Brotherhood Softball League, which has the average player age of 52. So it's no wonder that we won the championship this past season, thanks Coach Silverman. So as you can see, Harlan's been setting a trend for pulling the trigger prematurely, as I'm sure Andrea can attest to. Oh, come on, you like that one. Come on. If I may interject for a moment to all the Jewish mothers and grandmothers here who are upset that such a lucky catch like Mr. Davis is off the market, and you'd like your daughters to meet a nice, handsome, charming, athletic, successful Jewish boy with a good family who has no problem speaking in public. My brother Robert's sitting right over there, so. Harlan has two wonderful sisters, Mindy, my personal DD, and Tracy, probably the greatest matchmaker of all time. Hey Mindy, how are you doing? Great, wonderful. So growing up, Harlan and I hung out so much that everyone thought that we were brothers, but in fact he was more like a sister to me. Due in part to having two wonderful older sisters that he couldn't help but emulate. The problem with that is that he assumed a lot of qualities that they had. For instance, he's very particular about his food and where he eats. He tends to be late for things. He takes forever to get ready to go out. And he also lived at home with his parents until he got married. Speaking of his parents, let's hear it for Eddie and Debbie. You know, one of my favorite Davis family traditions are these hats that Eddie and Debbie get made for any big occasion in Harlan's life. For instance, when he was born, they made hats that say Harlan Shea is here to stay. At his bar mitzvah, Harlan Shea's big day. And I'm sure tonight they'll have something like Harlan Shea's wedding day or Harlan Shea marries Andrea Ute. But I took the liberty of making some more appropriate hats. First and foremost, Harlan Shea, Mr. Andrea Ute.
No,
Number
it's all,
two.
it's all good, baby.
Harlan Shea, moving out of the house, hooray! And my personal favorite, Harlan Shea, phew, not gay. I'll let that one simmer for a little bit. I know you all are gonna have a marriage that goes the distance. Take it from me, because I was there the night that they first met. Hey, I'm being serious over here, calm down. Take it from me, I was there the night that they first met and laid eyes on each other, even if Harlan's eyes were glazed over and halfway open. They shared a moment, and that's what life is all about. Little moments that, when combined together, create a very memorable life. And I know you two will have a very memorable life, and I hope to be a part of that. And to be able to witness a moment like that with two people who are meant to be together, lay eyes on each other for the first time, it's, let me tell you, something that you don't forget, so. Andrea, in today's day and age of politicians, professional athletes, and role models sending pictures of their schmeckles over email and picture mail, Harlan's the one guy you don't have to worry about. He's one of the most fiercely loyal guys I know, and I know he will remain true to you and cherish you every day of your life together to make sure that you have a very happy and love-filled marriage. Where are Andrea's parents? Where's Joe and Carol?